back to that time, and it talks about how you need to judge the person based on like their actions and who they are as a person, and not like what they do or how they look. And like one of the main characters, Stanley, he's made fun of because he's a ginger who's like super tall for being in the middle.
What is a ginger?
A ginger is a redhead.
So someone with red hair.
Yeah, it sounds like red, but it was like orange hair, and he was made fun of because he was super tall and he just didn't fit in. And no matter what anybody said or did anything to him, like they squirted him with a water gun to like and told everybody that he peed his pants in front of the whole school. And he was in 8th grade, and it didn't affect him because he knew who he was, and he didn't let anybody stop him from doing what he wanted to do. And like we just think that it's a good example because like he used that in a positive way to show that it's not gonna stop him from doing what he wants to do in his life. That nobody's gonna like the bullies didn't stop him from later on in the movie going and singing in front of everybody a cappella. Like it didn't affect his life, and we think that there are going to be cases like that, but there are also going to be cases like Mary where they feel like there's no other outlet, and that's why we have our third point, which
this was Larissa's third point, but like as the main source of bullying needs to be addressed before larger measures are made. The answer to this is in the recognition of human dignity and compassion. People need to be able to communicate their feelings instead of hiding behind a computer screen, to express their built-up emotions, and since many bullies are either bullied themselves or have problems at home, there needs to be solutions starting at home. She had some stuff to talk about.
and like another proposition was that there would be money going in from the school districts to have like social media being monitored so that if anybody had posts like that were like discriminatory or were like taking down another person, that then you would deal with the problem right away instead of just like letting it fester, I guess, and like potentially hurt that person.
So 3 quick questions. What happens when the kid isn't as secure as the young 8th grade boy with red hair that you described, who didn't let the bullies affect him? That for me, that's
Like
that's
Mary.
very, very young. Credit to him, very young. Credit to his parents, his teachers, his friends, for building him up in that way. But it came out yesterday. Kids at the high school level are insecure with whatever they're insecure with, their body, their hair, their any number of different things. So to be that self-aware and that secure, that confident in 8th grade, it's a great thing for that kid. But what happens, what do we do when that student isn't secure in who they are and they're still being mocked?
Well, I feel like the whole school approach would help that person because then that helps, that has, like you have an outlet, you have a source of people where they can help you. But in some instances, like in Mary Brown case, like she felt like she didn't have that. So that's why there would also be the program where they would like monitor social media, and also like Mary should just like get an outlet in her own life where she can focus on something else instead of petty high school drama.
So this could, this comes from like our extended conversation yesterday, I think that this approach definitely could help to reduce cyberbullying going forward, but this, as I understand it, this approach is more geared towards the victim of those being bullied, and it doesn't address the problem head on. It doesn't address
Like
the
the
bully,
person.
what's
Well, that's why
happening,
we said
why
that,
it's happening.
Like, if you found out who was doing it, then you would like talk to them and you would try to like give them an outlet to like figure out what is so wrong. Like, are you just bored that you wanted to start something just so that like you have something to do with your life right now? Or is it because you want a source of power in middle school or high school, or what that outlet is, so that then you can give them something so that they contribute to society? That's why you would have to like have somebody modern.
Okay, so 2 questions off that. To that last point, if the student is doing the cyberbullying in the school or on a device that the school provides, of course the school is right to look into this.
Yeah.
But anything outside of the school building, if it's not on a school device, or if it's not using the school's resources, computer labs or Wi-Fi, then the school legally can't look into that. That's something
Yeah,
that
but
they
no,
wouldn't be
this
able to
isn't,
do.
this isn't the school doing it. This is the school putting money into a program that would be monitoring social media posts, like in this district. So it's not just like one person, because you could technically like cyberbully somebody who's from a different school, and that would be different. It's
Or
like
on
the
the
whole
program.
group. I didn't really think that far ahead.
Because I
Well,
could
maybe
see where
like-
if it was like a parent group, then the parents of the kids who are having their social media looked into might find that problematic if like another kid's parents were looking into this.
Well, I wouldn't have a parent do it. I feel like you would have to go higher up.
Okay, but if we know that it can't be the school in instances where this is taking place outside the school building with personal devices, who would that have to be then?
It's probably like
Legally,
a student who is on the group.
I don't feel like
would a student be qualified?
no. I feel like it would have to be like someone who is able to like, I don't know, like I guess someone like a police officer or something who is like in the criminal justice system where they can accurately and like as a third party look into it and clarify whether or not that is in essence like a threat or
Third party is good, but if it's going to be some sort of law enforcement agency organization,
yeah, but you're not, but the point is that you're not going to affect that person's life for the rest of their life. This is not gonna be on their criminal record, it's just going to stop it before it gets worse. I'm just making that clear.
okay?
That the police will be involved, but they're not going to arrest or like do anything towards like Naomi or Chris in this instance. They're not going
But
to do
if
that.
there's laws on the books like threats, like stalking, like harassment,
Yeah.
then if they deem, if the law spells out that they're able to do this, if you want to empower a third party, someone in law enforcement to look into this, and if they, in doing their job, which you want them to do, discover that this person via social media, their own device outside of the school building is violating a law,
Well,
you
then
would have
you
to
can do
arrest,
something.
you would have to arrest and charge and prosecute that person.
If
Yeah,
it like
which is
comes to that point,
But,
Sorry?
like,
if it like comes to that point where it's like getting really bad, that's why we have someone like monitoring everything.
the point about monitoring is to prevent it from getting that bad.
Okay. So, one last one then. How do we empower kids with the knowledge and confidence to be as strong as the young man you described, the 8th grader with red hair?
I think you have to
Is
be
that part of
confident
it?
in yourself. You have to be confident
Of
and
course,
secure in yourself.
this is ideal.
And you have to.
We want this for every kid,
Yeah.
but what happens when that doesn't happen?
Well, you have to have, that's like why it's the whole like approach where you have to get everybody involved. Where you have to like have outlets for kids to like do stuff to feel like they are a part of something. Where you have to realize that high school is only 4 years of your life and you're gonna live to be what, like 80 or something? Like you're not gonna remember when you're 80 like, oh my god, you remember that person who bullied me when I was like 7 years old?
So,
It sucked.
if you
but
want,
I
if you want the
lived.
school to start this program, pay some third-party organization, I think it's a good idea. It might be an effective way to catch the people who are maybe doing these bad things, which it sounds like you want to stop as a teacher. I can respect that. But that's gonna cost money.
Yes.
People don't work for free, and if it's a public school, part of that money is gonna come from property taxes. So I, as the legislator, would have to raise taxes on the people of that community to pay for this program.
But in the long run, it'll save you money because you're not gonna have to go to court, you're not gonna have to do all this stuff that if you criminalize this, you're not gonna have to take those people to court and waste all of this time with other people.
Has the potential to, for sure. I like that response. So, as a teacher, do you think cyberbullying is a bad thing?
Yes.
Yeah, but
As a teacher, don't you feel it's your responsibility to prepare kids for the real world? And by that I mean, show them that there are rules, standards, norms, we're speaking culturally now, that supersede just what they believe. Because kids may not think that they're doing something wrong when they subtweet, when they say something mean via social media.
Yeah, that's why
But-
awareness needs to be made.
Sorry?
Awareness needs to be made, and that
Awareness,
is-
but what do we do about the students who just have just flagrant disregard for anyone else's feelings, anyone else's programs,
I
the
think
whole
a lot
school
of that-
approach that's going into place? I mean, kids don't engage in, you know, your class 100% of the time, your English class likely. So how do we get them to engage in a program that, to a degree, goes against what they may want to do with their free time?
I mean, based on facts, we know that like bullies, a lot of the time that they become bullies, it starts at home. So if awareness can be at home, like with warning signs of abuse and stuff like that, I think that could definitely help the situation more too.
So what would that require from the school? I don't think money's involved,
Not money, just
but what would
like,
be involved?
I mean, not like posters, but just like people being able to speak out and tell other people like the warning signs and just like,
Raising awareness, getting the message out. This happens via social media with letters home from the principal, when principals blog and then distribute it, stuff like that. So I think that's a very powerful thing, and it is a way to potentially prevent a little bit of cyberbullying in the future. But when it's a clear-cut case of cyberbullying, what do we do with the bully?
You can help them.
It costs money.
Unless people are like willing to help you.
yeah, but it also
Are they
costs money
qualified
to
then?
keep people in jail.
Sorry?
It also costs money to keep people in jail. So it's like you send these kids
True,
to
but,
jail.
I mean, when people violate laws,
But I
we're
think
okay with putting them
with
in
the
jail.
criminalization, it's similar to a zero tolerance policy, and that policy has really low success because it approaches with high levels of consequences, but it doesn't give a person the full comprehension of how their behavior needs to and can be changed.
But doesn't, in this case, like we talk about, you know, incarceration, jail, maybe prison's on the table depending on the language of the law, but doesn't that send a very clear message to the kid that what they did is unacceptable?
Yeah,
That,
but they don't